Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Nukes map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the Northwest and ending with Team 2 in the Southeast. Starting off with Team 1, Southern player, and then going across their front line, and then back west, we have in orange, the color orange, it is a Zeros. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 2100. He is the highest rated player on Team 1, and he is also tied for the highest rated player overall. To his north, we have it in Barbie Pink. It is Psychoad. He is a UEF. He is an 1800. In Pac-Man Yellow, in the middle of Team 1's lineup, we have the little guy. He's a UEF as a 1200. Near the water over here to the east, we have in Light Oak Tan Namplam. Is this supposed to be a play on like napalm or something? Namplam? Yeah, Namplam. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1200. In Stitch Blue to his west, we have as a Cybran Low-Key. He is a 1500. We'll say if he is low-key or not. And to the northwestern corner of the map, we have it as a UEF, the best color and faction combination in forest green. It is Hyper 2001. He is a 1400. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 UEF, 1 Cybran, 2 Seraphim, no Aeons for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2 is Northern player, then going across their lineup and then back east, we have in Imperial Gray, it is Yoji. He's an Aeon for this match as a 2100. He is the highest rated player on his team of Team 2 and tied with Zeros for the highest rated player overall. In Tropical Ocean Blue to his south, we have as a Cybran Thurnis Haley. He is a 1900. In the middle here for Team 2 in Rust, it is Stinky Joe. He is a Seraphim as an 1100. And rounding out the front line here for Team 2, we have in Glow in the Dark Green, BJ. He is a UEF. He is an 1100. In Lattice Red Pink to his east, we have as the UEF player, it is Ferv. He is a 1600. And rounding out Team 2's lineup, we have in Ruby Red, it is Nagel. He is a 1500 as an Aeon, and he's in the regardless slot here for Team 2. And for the game overall, let's take a look at the recomp situation. Currently sitting at, drumroll please, 4,600 mass. Nothing really to write home about at all. That's about not even 400 mass per player. It's something. It's not great, but it's something. Taking a look at the mech situation, though, there is a quad mech position for Team 2, as well as a host of just one-off mechs pretty much dotted around the map towards the middle as well. So it's kind of the mid line versus all the way towards essentially the middle. We do see that there's a lot of comms inbound from Team 1 on this eastern side, and there's a couple of comms, one of them at least, for Azuros over here in the pond going off against BJ. It looks like everybody in the game is headed towards the middle of the map in some degree, besides Team 2's regular player of Nagel, upgrading his mechs as we speak. So that'll put Team 2 at a slight disadvantage for power in the ACU technology phase, but maybe it won't be a huge big deal. Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to see how the game plays out. Transports with a couple of engineers dropping off for a little bit of a reclaim, trying to deny at least a little bit for Team 1. And again, not even 400 mass per player isn't really a lot to write home about, but any little bit does help, regardless if it's 100, 1,000, 500, or even 10. We do see gun started for a low-key. He's not going to play a low-key in this game. He's going to go for a gun. The first upgrade on a comm of the game. We'll see if he ends up finishing it first. At this rate, he'll be finishing it first. I highly doubt anybody else has a lot of build power to just spam out an upgrade that quickly. We do see a transfer over into the east. We did see an engineer dropped off with a nice little T1 lab. Looks like the Yoji Chariot transport is just going to sit there and hang out. Maybe we'll see some action in the northeastern pond. We already see some action in the southwest. A couple of frigates outbound for both of the players. And we'll just see who ends up winning that fight. Technology-wise, it's pretty much a even split here. 1 Seraphim, 1 UEF. So they both have missile tech on board. So they desperately want to make sure they're the ones that win Navy so they can just bombard their opponents. Gun upgrade almost done for Loki. We do see Team 1 as being a little bit more bold and sending their comms forward. Again, it is a 1v1, maybe a 2v1 with Stinky Joe here. But it is a technical 4v2 in favor of Team 1 on the eastern side. So huge amount of firepower advantage for Team 1 if they send everybody in. And with that gun comm already online, that's going to severely put Team 1 in the lead for at least gaining control of the middle. Gun started for Stinky Joe. Still no other upgrades as of yet, which is surprising because usually we see a lot of upgrades spam out at about the 5 to 6 minute mark. And, you know, I just have to wait 5 more seconds and something will happen. Gun damage range started for both Psychoed and Ferv. So that's going to be a fun, interesting conversation to have with a couple of guns firing at one another. We do see Team 1 again still trying to box Team 2 out of getting any territory in the middle. There's one Team 1 max that could easily be taken out by some units. And that little Team 1 unit gets wiped out by Loki's comm. We'll see pretty much, I mean, it's pretty close to who's going to win the upgrade phase, but it really won't matter because even if Psychoad finishes by the time he gets to where Ferv is, the upgrade will be finished and then vice versa. Gun almost done for Stinky Joe. And in the west, we have a couple of drops inbound from Azeros going after all of the mexes. This is going to severely deplete BJ's forces in the sense that he can't replenish them fast enough because he just doesn't have the mass to spend. This is a great grab here by Azuros. Huge, huge. And it's really going to set Team 2 back on the Navy for a while. We do see a couple of assisting forces inbound from Ferv to assist. Looks like those forces have essentially wiped out that base entirely. Devastating for Team 2's naval player. We do see Thurnis Haley is done with his... Actually, he started his gun upgrade. Speed started for Yoji. He has range already on board. Looks like trying to hold a couple of Team 1's units at bay. Looks like he has a couple of blazes as well, which will make mincemeat out of those forces. Couple of forces actually having some disagreements about some color combinations between Team 1's Little Guy and Team 2's Thurnis Haley, but they'll be driven back by Thurnis anyway. We do see an attack inbound in the west. It is Little Guy versus Stinky Joe with gun, Ferv and Psychoad with gun on board. So Team 2 has the advantage. Little Guy is falling into the yellow, but he is still in the high yellows, but he takes a chunk of damage due to the overcharge from Stinky Joe. That's a lot of fire inbound to that comm. Team 2 units trying to just block the pathing here for Stinky Joe's forces. Psychoad coming in to assist and drive Stinky Joe back to allow the Little Guy to escape. And in the east, these 3 commanders for Team 1 did not push in any way, and it has given actually a decent amount of momentum. The Team 2's eastern side for Thurnis and for Yoji. Gun started for Hyper. And in the pond, attack still on that naval facility going down on Azuros' side of things. But that just means that the reclaim is actually going to sit in the bay a lot easier to grab than it is for Team 2. We do see that now with Little Guy out of the picture, Psychoad has fallen into the little bit below yellows. Does get a rank in veterancy though. That'll help stave off death a little bit longer. For almost that 1-star veterancy, that overcharge has some interesting conversations to have with that nice little corkscrew maneuver. Couple of forces inbound from Thurnis Haley to just annoy somebody on Team 1 while he's pushing him with his gun and stealth comm. Yoji has gun/range on board. Not Stinky Joe, excuse me. Psychoad is about in the red almost. Looks like he has some power outages very briefly. That's never helpful. It looks like he might make it home. That won't be too bad, but Team 1 has lost a lot of control of the middle. They had essentially the entire midpoint of the map under their control. Team 2 just shoved them back. We do see Hyper 1001 coming in to assist, almost cutting the difference between Stinky Joe and Ferv. Stinky Joe really wants to kill on Psychoad, but might want to retreat that at some point. We do see Ferv going for a Team 1 mech. Actually, not going to go for a radar after he goes for a T2 upgrade and then go home, it looks like. We do see Loki holding position. Little Guy is able to retreat, and Nam Palm is over there holding position. Oh, it's Nam Plam. I transposed the A and the L. So it's Nam Plam. Apologies for saying his name wrong. It is a interesting name to say nonetheless. Nano repair started for Psychoad. Gonna rep up his hit points quite nicely once that's done. In the Navy, it's still T2 versus T2. But it does look like Team 1's Azuros will be able to take out their headquarters and locking Team 2 out of Navy. His base being annihilated just did not help the situation. Essentially hamstringed him into not really being able to produce naval units. So essentially de facto winning Azuros the win. So nice grab there by him on that air invasion. You do see lots of Mongoose and nice little parachute stacking up to help defend themselves and the comm, of course. A couple of missiles going after something. I have no idea where they were going. They were going for something. Sparky is actually on the front line. Love to see those. Don't see them very often, but, you know, Engine is going to have a gun on there at some point. Looks like an attack happened once again from Team 2's. Looks like maybe Yoji sent something in, but nothing too damaging, I guess. That mech is just down again, so that makes me think that something happened, which, yep, something did happen. So it was an attempt. Mechs got taken out, which is better than nothing, but maybe it cost him a little bit more than he really wanted to. Nano repair started here for a little guy. He has gun on board. So pretty much everybody on Team 1 has gun besides Namplam and Azuros, who's gone T2, which makes sense because he was microing his naval forces down in the southwestern pond, which he has full control over now. And now he has those awfully dreaded cruisers from the Seraphim side of things. And does have a transport loaded with Zui on board to go after another player's main base. A couple of Corsairs over the top here from Team 1's Loki going after the T2 P-Gens. And that's not great. Looks like the T2 land headquarters got taken out as well. That's going to hurt things in the keeping Team 1 at bay thing. And another attack inbound from Team 1. Missile almost takes out the T2 mechs. And luckily for Team 2, they had that mapper nearby to be able to at least do some of the damage to that missile before it actually hit. Where did that missile come in from? Looks like it came in from the north, but it's not. There isn't a TML on that line unless Team 1 reclaimed it at some point. Does look like a transport inbound, but Team 3 ASFs are nearby. Will they land in time? I don't think so. Nope. Very close, but is not fast enough, unfortunately. Massive Eco says BJ. Yep, that is going to be a huge advantage for Team 1's Azuros just because, again, he set BJ back a while ago, and he's still reeling from the attack earlier. But to be fair, the difference between him and Azuros is actually not that far off. It's only about 1 mechs a second. That could be reclaim related a little bit, but still, he's really, it's not that far off. It's just the tactical advantage is heavily in favor of Azuros. We do see in the east, little guy back at it, but he's facing off against Thurnis and Yoji, who has T3 land tech online. Little guy is not going to feel good. It is just the regular range upgrade, not the advanced range upgrade. Overcharge will take out the hit points for that parashield, and now it's just the little guy being shoved back constantly. Thurnis helping to assist. We do see that Team 2 has now control of the middle of the map and is sending reinforcements in the form of Stinking Joe to the north. Missile outbound from the comm. Missile outbound from the comm for Ferv. And he loves to use those tactical missiles and those tactical Billy Nukes, of course. It is going to hit the T2 mechs. Nice grab there. That'll give him some more veterancy on board the comm and allow him to survive a little bit longer. T2 missile launcher mobile units inbound from Sakurai to go after Ferv, but it does look like Missile will take out 2 of them. Hey, 2's better than 1, and 1 is better than 0, so nice grab there. Units inbound from Sakurai to help assist with defensive measures on the eastern side. Loki gets away, pretty much not really damaged, and well as the little guy. Does look like it's mainly a 2v2 now in this point. Hyper 2001 has kind of fled. Not necessarily his main base, but in deeper Team 1 territory, and Nam Plam is in his main base. Nagel still in his main base. He has T3 air online, going for T2, and then possibly T3 after that. T3 coming online for BJ, and again, he's just going to be bombarded by missiles sooner rather than later. Needs to get TMD online immediately and never stop building it. We do see Thurnis continuing to push against Team 1, and Loki has actually taken a lot of hit points. Just 2 seconds ago, he had full HP, and now he's almost in the red. Oof, good thing he got out of there. Field started for the little guy, giving him more hit points, and we do see that Psychoad, with Azuros' assistance, is pushing in against Ferv and Stinking Joe, who's going for Splash on board that comm. So it's gun, nano, and splash. That's going to be a comm assassination tool. We've seen how deadly those things could be on Seraphim comms. And again, Psychoed has nano, Ferv has missile, T2, and gun. So I feel like in a 1v1ing might favor Psychoed. Again, we do see 2,000 additional hit points from Ferv, and Psychoed is at 16,000 hit points, so that is the 2,000 hit point difference, but it's 38 versus 62, and just in a 1v1, unless the missile gets fired, it will pretty much be favoring Psychoed in a 1v1 fight between him and Ferv currently. Blue is making T3 air as well, says Nagel. So Team 1 has a secondary air player online. That one is actually going for a Monkey Lord at the current moment, so we'll see possibly the cheapest experimental running around here shortly. Is that I was going to say, is that another T3 air facility? But it is not. Splash is almost done. Psychoed continuing to push. Ferv has the missile loaded. He could try to fire it on Psychoed's comm. We've seen how if players can time that right. Oh, missile was outbound. Doesn't go for the comm, but goes for more mexes, it looks like. Trying to just snipe at more and more and more of the eco. I don't blame him, because if Team 1 can't produce units, he can't fight back, at least the long-term scenario. Psychoed drops to pretty close to the red, falls back. Loki builds an experimental, less than what we talked about earlier. That T2 mech does get taken out, so that's another T2 mech assassinated by Ferv. And that base for Stinky Joe is dead. Not dead, but the shield is gone at the minimum. Stinky Joe, again, has that splash damage on board, which will do wonders for taking out that large group of flapjacks just hanging out and having a fun time. Not a good thing to sit there in just densely populated areas at any point. Shield started and then immediately canceled by Psychoed. And T3 is done for Nagel on board his comm. In the southwestern bay, TMD, 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 and more TMD is the name of the game here for BJ, getting some P-gens online to help with his power requirements. And he's like, I'm expecting a chicken on my shore at some point from a zero switch. There isn't one building as of yet, but that is a typical strategy, just send a chicken in. Psychoed has fallen below 2,500 hit points. Must have been hit by some shots from a comm or two. Probably Stinky Joe, who's fallen a little bit under green, but he'll be back up there shortly. And Team 2 is pushing, 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 trying to drive Team 1 back. And on the eastern side, the position is holding lots of AA, lots of bricks. That pseudo moving wall, love to see those things. The little guy has nano, shield, and a gun on board. So 35,000 hit points. It is a pretty tanky comm, those UEF, when they have their shields fully deployed. We do see that Monkey Lord is actually shifted eastward, so it actually might get spotted by Team 2 at some point. We do see Navy has now been deployed by Yoji, and I'm surprised that the other player on Team 1 of Nam Plam didn't get into Navy. Looks like it has been spotted possibly. Yep. Monkey Lord inbound. There's actually two of them, and then Thurnisali says spider in water, so they are aware of both Monkey Lords for Team 1. And it looks like both the comms are like, nope, I'm just going to leave. Strap Bomber's over the top, going to soften these forces here from Team 2. Allow the Monkey Lord to wipe them out a lot easier. Nobody going for Billy Nuke as of yet. It is 23 minutes. I will point out that nobody has died yet, so at 23 minutes on the clock, in a 6v6 game, nobody has died yet. That being the key word in that statement. D2 air online for Yoji, going for some gunships. I don't see any counters in the experimental. Soon. Skipping the monkey face, going straight for crabs. Now, in a long-range game, obviously the crab is going to win. But what is going on with my labeling up there? Is that... It's a tactical nuke is what it looks like, but I don't know who's building that. Ferv is on the move. It has to be a UEF. It's not little guy. Oh. It is Hyper 2001 going for tactical Billy Nuke. Very, very interesting. I just don't know why the labelling is like all the way up there to the north. Weird. We do see the little guy pushing in to assist the Monkey Lord and his remaining forces on the front line. We do see Nam Plam stacking some forces here, sending his sniper bots in to assist, looks like, just to create a little bit of a breathing zone. Monkey Lord has taken out a Mex or two, couple of PD being built very rapidly to deal with it. Losing hit points actually a lot quicker than I thought. Yoji comes in overcharge, takes out a chunk of those hit points. One more overcharge will kill the thing. Another one, there it goes. Man, that was a nice response there by Yoji. He knew his limitations. He knew exactly what needed to be done with the Monkey Lord and just wiped it out. Good grab there. Advanced Nano coming online for Stinky Joe. We do see, again, the TMD, and more TMD for BJ. I mean, he's going to be in a defensive position for probably most part of the game just because he just got bombarded and just annihilated earlier on. But he's still alive. He hasn't thrown in the towel, so I love to see that. Player sticking it out till the very bitter end. Little guy pushing in. Again, this is a lot of bricks, but he does have a decent amount of Percies. And those bricks are just focusing fire on one target at a time. Don't think they could have taken out the comm. He would have been severely wounded at a minimum. But I don't know. Michaelwood's actually flying back. T1 bombers over the top. Inbound from Nagel. Going to rip out at least some of those hit points. Looks like Team 2 will retain some control of the middle. ASF are running around for Hyper 2001. Nothing really online for Loki, it looks like. Those are all UEF ASF. So it looks like he went for Nuke instead. And that thing is not loaded, but it was just built. Does Team 2 know about it? No. They know about, of course, building the spider and whatnot, but nothing more than that. Is there any SMD coverage anywhere for Team 2? No. So that will be a free kill on somebody, or at least free base destruction on Team 2. You see some of those spearheads running around for Furf. He really loves those missiles, that guy. Whether it's the T2, T3, his own missile, whatever the case may be, he loves to use them. And that is kind of his, not necessarily tried and true method, but, you know, it's nice to see. It looks like he's going for T3, Engineering Suite on board, and then he's going to go for the Billy Nuke, I would assume, after that. He's almost at 5 stars, just needs to kill a couple units or 1 mech or something, that'll be it. We do see Billy Nuke inbound from Hyper 2001 going after these forces. The forces do retreat. Either they knew about it or probably just happenstance. Nothing really gets destroyed there. And possibly TMD going to be built and continue to be built. Continuing just because of Team 1's aggression in missile tech. We do see 2 Monkey Lords down the eastern side. Of course, both the comms have retreated. They dealt with that one. But there's 2 more inbound. And they added some forces in from Yoji, and Experimental is done for Thurnis. It is that crab. He needs to turn that thing around and engage with it immediately. We do see Stinky Joe over here. We could see an attack from the Monkey Lords after the comm, but doesn't look like they want to engage. Again, Nano, Advanced Nano at that, and Gun and Splash. It is a hefty damage that will be done on one of those, or both those Monkey Lords if they do engage that comm. But anyways, 28 minutes on the clock. Team 1, no players dead. Team 2, no players dead. So everybody's still in the game. Ecos are relatively in the same spot. Team 1, I think, barely ahead. But when we're talking about less than 100 mass per second, we're talking about less than 30,000 mass total accrued more. I mean, that's pocket change at this point. Baby Nuke inbound takes out a chunk of defenses for Stinky Joe. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, because why not at this point, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. We do see a lot of energy. Everybody donating energy over to Psycho and Hyper 2001 being like, I need some energy, and they're more than happy to donate. Those 2 Monkey Lords, again, they're pushing, they're prodding, they're going back and forth. There is a Colossus and a Crab online, which they should have taken the opportunity to go after Team 2 when they had it. Another Billy Nuke inbound from Hyper 2001, going to try to go after all these units, just holding out, holding position. I mean, there's nothing too damaging at almost 30 minutes, but that's a lot of Ilshis still nonetheless. And about half of them are going to go the way of the Dodo. There is 2 major attacks inbound, so I'm going to split things just briefly. We have the Eastern Battle. The Monkey Lord is, well, the more healed. The more one with HP remaining is the one that got the shots fired on it. We do see the Fat Boy goes down here for Psychoad. The Nuke is inbound from Loki. Does it go for the Air Player? The Air Player is already moving. He already knows something's going on. Looks like the Nuke, that's the Billy Nuke. Looks like the Nuke is going somewhere. Whoever's built that Nuke is being banned. Loki says, that's me. Nuke is gonna land And it's still going. Nope, it's still going. Never mind. That's the booming nuke that just landed. We do see, again, just kind of a death on both sides scenario. Here comes the nuke. It's going to hurt. Boom! Takes out almost the entire air grid. Takes out a lot of the core mass for Nagel. And he's going to be in a way for a while. There we go. It's like I pushed the button and the button didn't work and I had to press it again by ending the split. Colossus and Crab continuing to push. Colossus leading the charge. Lots of sniper bots are on the retreat. We do see that it's going to be in favor of Team 2, but that Colossus is going to be hurting after this engagement. The sniper bots, of course, are the ones going to be dealing a lot of the more lasting damage. Essentially in the case of, they've been shooting at them for a while, and they're really just going to rip them apart even after all these forces are gone. Boo Nuke lands down here, either misses forces or whatnot. Maybe it killed a couple of them, didn't notice. And in the west, it's just Percy Fire versus Percy Fire. SACU, Rambo presets online. And not necessarily going to get one tap, but it's going to hurt. Long range, big boom. Did he rename the Bowie Nuke to the long range big boom? Please tell me it actually says big boom on the... it doesn't. It just says volatile and transportable one. That doesn't even say big boom. That's really funny. Now it makes me think if the upgrade actually says that. Oh, no, it does. He renamed it. That's hilarious. I didn't know you could rename the upgrades. That's very funny. Or at least, well, maybe I did. Yeah, I just forgot you can. That's probably what it was. I probably forgot you can. Anyway. We do see the Percy's continuing to push. There are some SACUs running around. Engineers actually, nice distracting shot. Keeps that Percy alive just for a little bit longer. We do see just constant pusher from Team 2. Crab coming in, Chicken hanging out. Another Bowie Nuke's landing all the time. That's actually an SACU. Nuke is inbound soon from Azuros. So that's 2 nukes coming online for Team 1 here shortly. The second one is almost loaded. And a Bowie Nuke inbound to assist dealing with the Crab. The Crab will win that fight, but with the Ion Storm right next door, I don't think it's going to last much longer. And there's a conversation about Theranos Haley and the other 2 guys on Team 1 about banning them from the lobbies because of nukes. Don't know if it's a joke or not. We do see Colossus pushing in with the help of Ferv's remaining land forces. This frontline base is not going to feel good here for Psychoad. But he might keep a little bit of it, to be fair, because there is that Fat Boy doing a lot of damage to the Colossus. The Colossus, I mean, it could go for the nuke, which, if they know about... No, they know about it, so... Looks like that Colossus is what it's inbound for. Bowie Nuke inbound from Team 2, and it's got to be Team 2's because Team 1 went strike at their own base. Is there any TMD protection? Not really. Team 1 PD trying to be built to counter the attack inbound. Bowie Nuke lands here, takes out a chunk of hit points and a couple of those forces. That entire base is gone. It's just Bowie Nuke Central here between Hyper 2001 on Team 1 and Ferv on Team 2 now. T3 Navy online for Azuros because why not? And it looks like BJ has been severely depleted of everything in this game and is being forced to retreat beyond the range of the cruiser missile nonsense. Crab down the middle, but there's a Crab coming up from the north here from Loki. Hyper 2001 is forced to retreat. The little guy hanging out. Nuke is outbound. Looks like that is Loki's nuke. Going after Yoji's base. He just loaded his SMD, so he'll be definitely happy about that. And it looks like the Colossus died. Chicken now online. It almost got to the nuke, but was just needed a couple more seconds to live. Another experimental online for Team 2's Ferv. It is a Fat Boy coming to make sure Team 1 doesn't re-expand into that quad mix position. Theranos Haley retreating the rest of his forces and kind of just conglomerating them right here, just a little bit past the middle line there. 34 minutes on the clock. Still nobody has died. And where is big things happening for Team 1 and Team 2? Nothing in Azuros. Satellite started for Psychoad. A couple of Fat Boys built by The little guy, Nuke, of course, still online. Killed off how much mass? 51,000. I mean, again, it's respectable. It's not like 200,000 with 2 nukes kind of thing, but that rarely happens. Team 2's air grid hasn't really been rebuilt, so they're kind of locked out of air for a little bit. It does still have a decent amount of remaining ASFs, though, so that is a consolation prize. Bowie Nuke is inbound from Hyper 2001. Looks like it'll hit a couple of Percy's, and that'll probably be it. Fat Boy does get taken out by the chicken. A couple of shots from Percy's will kill the chicken off. And I don't think there's any Percy's nearby, so that chicken actually might make it home safely. Another Bowie Nuke lands going after Azeros' base. Man, just non-stop with that thing. And yeah, that's definitely for... Yeah, he was definitely in range for a moment. Doesn't want to push his luck too much, so he falls back a little bit. Definitely don't blame him there. Colossus versus a crab and a chicken and a crab. And a little bit of crash damage will help assist taking out the crab, but I don't think it'll actually matter by the time the Colossus actually falls. But the couple of forces from Thurnis will be taken out by the crash damage from their teammates. Colossus, we do see chicken trying to hug the crab. The crab has a couple of shields nearby, decent amount of crabs. Decent amount of T3 units coming in to resupply. Fat Boys are really good. What's going to keep Team 2 at bay, and the Ion Storm. The Ion Storm will help the initial phase, and then the Fat Boys will secure the "you're not moving this way" kind of nonsense. We do see a long line of blazes just moving in on the water. Will act as a nice little distracting force here for Team 2 as they strike at some other venue. But again, 2 Fat Boys will deny 1 crab, at least for a little bit of time. Another Bowie Nuke is inbound. It's going to maybe take out a Percy or 2. Is it really worth it for 1 Percy? Absolutely not. It will actually get the Percy kill there, but still. D3 coming online for Azeros. Maybe he'll go for advanced nano now. We will see. And now that he's essentially wiped out an entire player's base worth of eco, still, I want to point out, Team 2 and Team 1, both at 1,500 mass per second. So at the 28-minute mark, there's technically been no progress. Team 1 now at 1.6. That kind of makes me think it's power-related, but given that long. But not a little bit of issues, but nothing too crazy. I don't see anything for Team 2 as well, so Team 3 Naval Headquarters is being denied by Ferb, and another Bowie Nuke will kill that thing. So unless he has to wait for another missile. He's not getting a lot of engineer support, so it's taking him a little bit longer, rather than Hyperdon's one who has a lot of engineering support, helping to reload that missile even quicker. So, you know, that is the difference between those 2 players. Is one has engineering support, one does not. He also has a nuke, Hyper 2001. That is the 3rd player on Team 1 to build a nuke. He also, of course, has his air facility. He isn't really... Well, he does have a decent amount of ASFs, but not as much as you would think, and that's partly due to the fact that he's investing a lot of mass and energy into Bowie nukes and regular nukes. So he's not divesting, but spreading out his wealth into different sectors, as it would be, versus just spamming it all into air forces. But again, Team 1 has 3 nukes, so Team 2 definitely needs SMB coverage everywhere. But look at that. Team 2's Thurnis Haley has also built a nuke. It looks like he was reclaiming, Stinky Joe's reclaiming his Awasa bomber, maybe helping out with the crab. Maybe he's going to go for something else. Yoji builds an experimental, possibly another Colossus. Yep, there it is. Little guy built another Fat Boy, because that's what he's building all day. And now he has 3 of them online. Of course, Psychoed has 2 of them online, soon to have 3. It does have 1 satellite, so it's not super spammy, the satellite, but it is nice to just have to get some constant vision on the other side of the map. And a strike at unshielded Nexus is kind of a nice little benefit. 2 crabs being forced back by 2 Fat Boys, but there's also a chicken and a crab to back them up, so you can't really rush them at this point. You see more and more chickens being built by Namplam. The game has kind of slowed down a little bit. There is a little bit of momentum going down here from Psychoed on this western side. Nuke is outbound. These forces were kind of already retreating, but there's 3 Colossus holding position. Didn't even notice those because they're just kind of blending in there. Billy Nuke lands a little bit to the north. Colossus, they're probably not going to feel good. One of them's going to take a... maybe? I mean, barely. It takes on a lot of the T2, T1 support. A couple of T3 units were lost, but honestly, not as damaging as you probably would have thought, or at least I thought. Billy spots by BJ. Yep, that's Hyper 2001's Billy Nuke that's hanging out in the middle of the map with a lot of engineers. Kind of... Anyway, he's just been sitting there for a little bit. There's no counterattack from Team 2. 3 crabs, 3 colossi. Still nothing. And on this western side, 2 fat boys. At this point, just send the crabs over here and call it a day, because that's going to do at least a little bit more work. I mean, you're being bombarded slowly. Billy Nuke outbound from Hyper 2001. That'll eat probably mainly the engineers, but there's not really that many T3 forces here. It's going to land right in front of the crabs. The crab's going to go, yeah, it's not worth it, and then turns around. Oh, it gets redirected by a loyalist in the mix. Love to see that. Will he get hit by his own tactical Billy Nuke? Let us see. There it is. Now here's the question. I just thought about this. Can you redirect a missile that's already been redirected? So you had a loyalist redirect a missile from a UEF comm like this. If you had another loyalist hanging out right next to Hyper 2001, could it be redirected back to the same place it originally was fired at? Oh, here comes the Billy Nuke. He knows it too soon. Ooh, takes a hit. He'll be fine, though, but that's going to hurt. Another explosion happens to the north. Looks like they were trying to go after the Fat Boys. Billy Nuke lands down here. Fat Boys pushed in. Looks like Team 2 senses blood in the water. And that was Thurnis Haley's nuke, by the way. It went after those units stacking up there. And in the east, again, it's a little bit more of a slow kind of battle, but I'm going to split things down. There's another nuke is inbound, and that attack is inbound in the east. Where is this nuke coming from? It's coming from Team 1's rearguard air slot position, possibly, maybe. It's going somewhere. Oh, yep, it's inbound from there. Looks like it's going after BJ's position. That's not going to feel good. He's already been beaten a lot this game just because of the bombing. Well, not the bombing, but the drop inbound from Azuros and all the other stuff that's happened so far. The crabs are being focused down. The Fat Boys did not get out of there, unfortunately for them. And actually, Nuke will land nowhere near anything. Very unfortunate. But, you know, they're trying to take out the units and make it easier for Psycho Ad to move in. But this is a large win here for Team 2. Obviously, they've lost a couple of their own stuff, but mainly Team 1 has lost a lot of their frontline experimentals, at least on this eastern side. The western side still fine, though. Spam for engineers, for reclaim. Still more cruisers, and now aircraft carriers getting to the mix. Just getting more AA coverage. Team 2 cannot send any air along their western edge, southwestern edge, just because of all that AA nearby. But I think at this point, I can split things because it's not really that much going on so far. But reclaim situation currently sitting at 100,000, so it's definitely worth going after. Most of it does reside in that giant mass of nonsense right here. But Team 2 is continuing to push. There's one crab. That one probably will not survive. There's a lot of shots inbound. Second Colossus, third Colossus in range. One more double. No, it actually will survive just barely. 4-star to the vet. If it gets, you know, what is that? Oh, it actually got it. I was going to say it gets, you know, 100, 200 mass per killed or something. That'll be it. Wall sections being erected. That's not going to slow down experimentals by any means. And Team 2 has an option. They can either go full north and then west, or they could split, which it looks like they might be going actually over here from Namplam's position. ASF's coming in to protect the soon-to-be aggression inbound from Team 1. And, of course, Psychoed has now positioned himself in the middle of the map. He's actually turned his forces around and trying to go after the forces inbound from Thurnis and Yoji. So this is very kind of, not necessarily role reversal, but, hey, we're on the other side of the map. Get back here. Not really a fun time there. And you can see the original crab designs with that artillery on the back. That doesn't exist anymore. And it looks like Nuke lands... Possibly somebody died. Yes, Ferv is defeated by Hyper 2001 with some strap bombers and a Billy Nuke, it actually looks like. That is the first kill of the game. 44 minutes on the clock. Actually, no, it was not a bowie nuke. It was just the strap bombers. We do see another bowie nuke, but Team 1 loses a player. Looks like that was that Loki that went down? That was Loki. And it looks like the defense on the eastern side for Namplam is going to be enough to hold off Team 2's aggression. And it looks like a bunch of stuff. Then Luke is launched at the last second. Nice launch there. From it looks like maybe Loki launched it. Is that going to be just a close support air nuke? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's going to be bad for Team 2. Ooh, nice grab. All of those T3 forces are down. Huge amount of damage to that attacking force. It won't stop to death, I think, at least for Loki's old base. But man, does it stay up? But a second nuke is inbound. Look like it was inbound from Azuros. Strikes and takes out at least one of the crabs. And another nuke is inbound from Hyper 2001. 3 nukes have been launched on one location. If it does go that way, which no, it doesn't. It's going to go to this position, which it's not bad, but it would have been funny if it was put here. But Crab is going to survive a little bit longer. There are 2 chickens inbound. Colossus is going to go after some more mixes for Team 1's Azuros that he now owns because his teammate of Loki is dead. It's now a 5v5 game, 45 minutes on the clock. Nuke is going to land. It is going to hit the Fat Boy. It is going to kill the Fat Boy. That's unfortunate. Team 1 no longer has a Fat Boy, which might actually prompt them to engage. There's 3 of them inbound here shortly. Those are the ones that tried to chase after this experimentals. But T3 artillery is online for Azuros. Second one almost half done. And Team 2 does not have artillery. No. They've almost finished one. It's outbound from Nagel. Do love the fact that he built the shield first. Love to see that. Looks like artillery is landing on Yoji's base. SMD gun, says Loki. Ooh, that's not great. It was... ooh, there goes the nuke. And I wonder where it's going. Is it going to go for Yoji? I mean, that would be the best play to take out at least the base at a minimum. Oh, and it is. Yep. Too many UEF players, says Azuros. I wouldn't say there's that many. I mean, there's 3 on one team. And there's just a constant conversation going on about who built the nuke, who built the artillery, that sort of thing. And there he goes. It's going to take out the base. Will it grab Yoji? Oh, I think it will. Ooh, kaboom. There goes that comm. Second player on Team 2 dead. It is now a 4v5 in favor of Team 1. Team 2 just does not have that much left in the clip. They do have an artillery. It looks like it did take a hit. And it is taking a hit by the satellite. Ooh, the shield coverage is not wide enough. Ooh, that's not great. And there is artillery landing on Thurnus Haley's base. Now he has a nuke. Oh, shield's got to come in. Oh, barely misses. Ooh, that would have been great. And nuke launches immediately after that shell lands. Looks like it's going northward to maybe this base. Yeah, but there is an SMD and it is loaded, so that nuke will be denied. Another nuke inbound. Now it's just nuke launched constantly here. Strap bombers, though, that's a concern, though. That's a lot of strap bombers. Where is that nuke going? Looks like it's going for Thurnus's Omni, maybe? Because it's too much of a southeast direction to go after this dual Colossi position. It's going to land right here. Nothing really there. So, not a bad nuke. It's just there wasn't really anything vital there. It would have been better to go after the Colossus at that point. Strap bombers are inbound. Looks like the artillery is targeting Thurnus Ailey's secondary base down here, gifted over from Verve's death. Strap bombers, though, will get spotted by Team 2 and not have a fun time. No, that's about a squadron and a half, if not 2 of them, so about 24 strap bombers. Ooh, yeah. Great. Looks like the air fight will just be taken by Team... Oh, they're going to take the air fight at that point. Yeah, they they're going to win that, regardless if Nagel turns around or not. He's going to try to save as many ASFs as he can. And Hyper 2001 retreats his. Looks like a couple more Fat Boys are dead. There's just dead stuff everywhere, but now we see a crab completely surrounded. SACUs, Percy's, Fat Boy, Ravagers, Engineers, anything in the kitchen sink from a UEF repertoire. But it does look like in the southeast, Nagel control case, seeing that the game not really going his way, and kind of seeing that it's kind of over. Team 1 has 1, 2, 3. I thought I saw a fourth one somewhere. Is there not a fourth artillery somewhere? I guess not. And there is a desync, unfortunately, but I mean, we kind of see the way this game was going. At some point, something fell off my desk. I'll investigate that after I am done recording. Apologies for that. And it is, of course, unfortunate with the desync, but the game was kind of trending in Team 1's direction. I thought I saw 4 artillery shots. Maybe not. They're going to save the control Ks. And it is now a 2v5 in favor of Team 1. And Loki's asking why he was mad about the nuke. And well played, Game Ender builders. I mean, they didn't build a Game Ender, but they built 3 nukes and a couple of 3 artillery pieces. I thought I saw a 4th one, though. Maybe not. Yeah, I only see 3 yellow dots coming in from the sky. Oh, no, no, there is 4. Okay, there is a 4th one here. Looks like that one was just built. Another nuke outbound from Team 1. Looks like that's from Hyper 2001. And it is just going to be death to everything at this point here. Looks like there's a last-ditch attempt here on the front lines. BJ, the one that was knocked out of the game essentially early on, still in it, though. Nuke gonna land, take out a lot of hit points on board those 2 experimentals. Kaboom! And it does look like they have enough to maybe push in if they group all together, but maybe not. 2 chickens, 1 GC, 1 Mega, says Psychoad, but there's 2 chickens, 2 GCs, 3 crabs, which is not great. Defenses are gonna hold at least maybe 1 of the chickens at bay. I hear strap bombers somewhere. There's a chicken off to the east and a secondary one and a 3rd one as well. So that's going to really wipe out this eastern front. I hear strap bombers. I can't see the strap bombers, but I definitely hear them somewhere. We see some nice little Janus action inbound from Hyper 2001 going after the chickens. First chicken is down. The chicken will actually narrowly avoid all that fire damage, but the 3 Fat Boys, 4 Fat Boys still retreating. Team 2 still under heavy artillery bombardment. They really want BJ dead, which is not great. He's probably just going to accept his fate. Nuke is outbound from one of the 2 remaining nuke launchers. Looks like it's Hyper 2001. Nuke launcher still has 1 loaded. Chicken is dead. There's still the 2 GCs and the 3 crabs, but that GC's dead. Another explosion happens. BJ is defeated by Azuros. It is now a 5v1 game. Will Stinky Joe stick with it? Will he dip out? What will happen? I think he'll do either Control K or maybe he just wants to see the not the lasting effects, but the outcome of this attack. And there's a lot of Fat Boys. There are 6 Fat Boys shooting at a couple of experimentals. And YOLO almost half done, or a little over half done for Azuros, but that's not going to finish by any means. It just isn't. The game's pretty much already over. And another nuke outbound, another nuke outbound, another nuke outbound. Looks like Hyper built 2 nuke launchers, because why not? It looks like he was going to send them right here. And that's pretty much the game at this point. Yep, there it is. He teleports out or control Ks or whatever, and the game ends. Again, it is sad about the desync, but at the minimum, it was pretty much towards the end. The game was pretty much trending in Team 1's way at that point, and then there really wasn't anything that Team 2 was doing to really counter that. Of course, you had this entire eastern side being wiped out by Namplam, so yeah, it just wasn't a great scenario for Team 2. But let me know down in the comments who you would pick for MVP. For me, I think it has to go to Azuros. Yeah, I think it does. Not because of his artillery, but because he knocked out his opponent in Navy early. It still took him a little bit to get his Navy to win, then won his Navy, then knocked out that player's base again for the second time. And it gave him such a buffer zone where he could just do essentially whatever he wanted. And Psychoad was the one on defense or on attack one way or the other. So really he could just eco up, hang out, build a nuke, build artillery. So that whole just letting him be able to be by himself and not be bothered for most, if not all, the game definitely helped Team 1 win. Obviously, the nukes from Loki was nice to see, and Hyper 2001 as well. That nuke, or dual nukes going after that land invasion, it could have been more brutal than that had those nukes not come in. So those definitely were nice moments there. But I think Azuros gets it from me in this book. Let me know down in the comments who you think deserves the MVP award. Thank you so much for watching. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. And, of course, like and subscribe and all of that YouTube goodness. And I will see all of you in the next one.